Welcome to The Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 153 coming at you, and it's a big one. We've had a couple of spectacular games in the last few days. We'll spend a decent amount of time talking about NBA basketball, your Detroit Tigers, and also sports conspiracies.
Yeah, and real life conspiracy theories. Biggest U.S. political conspiracy theories in history. Coming up next.
Really?
No.
Oh, I think I have one of those.
I have zero, but I can actually, there's actually some crossover with that stuff, but we're not, like where people came from, but we're not going to talk. We can get into that a little bit.
Maybe we'll touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, okay. But I was joking, actually. All right, go ahead.
Okay, just shout out, please, for folks that listen in, you should pop on our YouTube channel because we look good. And also, we're paying homage to Wiz.
Well, you can't really tell, but...
I know, but you can't. That's a Wiz shirt that we got behind us. Clydesdale.
Yeah. Shout out Wiz. The late
out
Wiz, ever since his concussion. He's doing okay, though.
He's doing okay.
Yeah, he'll be back.
So not R.I.P. Wiz.
No, not yet. He's back.
R.I.P. Norm from Cheers. That doesn't mean as much to you, but people my generation... I know the internet's blown up with Norm stuff the last couple of days.
Really? Yeah, really is.
One of the best supporting characters ever in TV history.
Yeah, good job, Norm.
Yep.
Don't have anything to say there, so stop looking at me.
Better than Sam the Butcher.
Okay, all right, next one here.
Okay, NHL. Sorry, Leafs fans. I know...
Buddy, I crossed that out. Next one. We're not talking about the poverty Leafs. I hate hockey.
Bye, Shanahan. You tried. You gave it an honest effort.
Every time I watch a big hockey game, it's an awful game, and someone just plays horribly. Every single hockey game, it's just like, who makes the most mistakes? Oh, they're going to lose.
Make mistake, turnover, goal.
And that's the game, and it's over then.
Or stupid penalty, goal. That's what happened to the Oilers last night.
And then I watched Leafs Game 7. Sorry to the Leafs fans. I know I know a lot of people care about that. I'm sorry. I got up for it. I bet on the Leafs. No one will bet on the Leafs. We're up for the game.
It's kind of impressive no one will bet on the Leafs. He hasn't done that a lot.
And then they just suck, and it's like, why am I watching this sport that I don't even understand what's happening? But I don't need to. It doesn't need to be rocket science.
There's passion. Like when dudes are throwing their jerseys on the ice. That's passion.
Yeah. It's not my sport. No, brackets. When the Wings are in the offs, I'm going to be fully in on hockey.
Uncle Dan?
Sorry,
good
Uncle
luck.
Dan.
Come on, Oil.
Uncle Phil, Coach Rob. We got guys that are hockey.
We do, for sure.
Even Wiz. Wiz is up for it. But now we're going for Edmonton, so that's it.
Okay.
Good job, hockey.
Good.
Love hockey.
You cross this out as well. NFL is thinking about going to 18 games.
Buddy.
No, this is a good...
It's May.
This is a good one.
It's May. We're not talking...
No. Here. But I don't know if you heard the addendum. You have to sit each of your players for 2 games, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great. Next topic. I'm not talking about the NFL schedule in May.
Hendon Hooker is going to start 2 games.
Save us, Hendon.
Save us.
Next one.
We can do the tush push with him.
Next one. Tush push fully back, by the way.
Yeah, back. One of the nice things about sports is guys and some girls can you have nothing in common, but you wear a Tigers hat or a Lions jersey, whatever. So I had a great conversation with Megan and Rick, who are now listeners of the show.
So I don't know where this is going, folks.
No, just to talk about random conversations with people about sports is awesome, right? Like you like airport bars. That's kind of your...
Undefeated.
Airport bars are undefeated, right?
Never lost.
You can have a beer at 7:30 a.m. and be best friends with a guy an hour and a half.
And there's no shame.
No, nothing.
Shame-free zone there.
Yep. You maybe exchange contact information.
No, you don't. That's the best part.
The
best part is you don't exchange names. That's the best part. We just talk for 2 hours about ball and then never see each other.
And you get so passionate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so I don't know. So talk about being in New York and this stuff here, because I don't know where we're going.
No, we were there for the Knicks beating the Pacers, and it was pretty...
The Knicks...
Oh, no. So the Knicks beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
And we were there. I just bumped into Megan and Rick at a bar because I couldn't go anywhere close to MSG because it was bonkers. Boy, New York, they're sports fans.
Is there any political climate that you would compare Madison Square Garden to after they won Game 6? Is there anything that's comparable?
That was a trap. That was an Admiral Akbar trap, and I'm not diving in.
Okay,
stay away.
Glad everyone.
Stay away.
Let's stay away. Talk about the atmosphere. What was it like being there for when the Knicks? I'll just say brutally beat. I was going to say a different word. Brutally beat the Celtics.
I'm going to talk about Victory Day after the conclusion of World War II. That's the only political thing. Victory Day in London, England, after World War II.
V-Day.
V-Day.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's the comparison.
Okay, that's great.
But
good job.
Like a Haliburton jersey guy
We're gonna get okay. Yeah.
got beat up. Well, that's kind of like wearing your Nazi SS jersey
So that's
in London
Yeah.
after V-Day. It is.
Well, I said Jeff, so that's on me. Hand up, that's on me, folks.
No, I don't think that's a controversial take.
No, most people should be okay with that take.
They should be.
And if you're not okay with the take, you shouldn't be listening.
I mentioned no current political.
Yeah. So
disharmony.
now we're gonna go to the anything that's not about war or politics. Anything else is on the table.
Yeah, movies. You've been on a big Mission Impossible kick. Please inform our viewers and listeners.
So you can even speak to this. Growing up, you showed me a lot of movies. Can you speak to some of these movies you showed me?
Well, like Rocky was a big time, Godfather, just stuff. Goodfellas, probably saw a lot of those movies a little bit earlier than what he should have. Bond, not high on my list.
Not a Bond guy.
Mission Impossible, for some reason, never made it into the rotation.
But I'm even thinking like the action stuff, like we did Star Wars and Indy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All
and
those things.
Die Hards and all that stuff. Whatever reason, Mission Impossible, the two that we never touched, Mission Impossible, and do you know what the other one is? We both hate it. Cars. Not the cartoon ones. Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah, Fast and Furious 75. Okay, great. Good driving, fellas. It's like NASCAR with cool guys.
So, we never watched either of those
Sorry,
two.
if you like NASCAR, I don't mean to offend you, but realistically, if you like NASCAR, you're not listening to the show.
Yeah, realistically, you're not. So, Fast and Furious is not our thing, but Mission Impossible is like up my alley. And I knew it was.
It's pretty good, and I probably need to give it a rewatchable.
And I just, for whatever reason, didn't really get into it. But now there's a new one coming out, and Tom Cruise, who's now fully reformed, seemingly, is having this huge press tour. And I watched the first 4 Mission Impossibles, and I watched the next ones because the new one's coming out.
No, after the new Top Gun, Tom Cruise was all the way back.
Yeah, he was fully back, but he might even be reaching another apex with this right now.
Saved Hollywood.
Yeah, actually. So I'm watching Mission Impossible. They're pretty great. First 3 are, like, fine. The 4th one is one of the best action movies of, like, the century. And then apparently they just get better. So I'm fired up. Mission Impossible, way to go. Movies are back. Tom Cruise is back.
I could probably jump on board at any point. I don't
Watch Ghost Protocol. Yeah, I'll rewatch Ghost Protocol with you.
Which one's that? 4?
Where he's climbing a big building and he's got these sticky gloves and the sticky gloves stop working while he's climbing the big tall building. It's really good. Actually.
That was in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, it was at the Burj Khalifa. Okay. Tallest building in the world.
Good pronunciation.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so nothing but Mission Impossible. Good stuff. Good job, movies.
All right, good. Any other movies you want to talk about?
Well, I can always yap about movies. How about you say something?
Like an unheralded movie that just, you need to watch again?
I watched Groundhog Day for the first time.
That's excellent.
Really awesome.
And I was able to bring in some good quotes. It was funny.
I like Groundhog Day.
Bill Murray's great.
Bill Murray's great. Yeah.
33 years was the number of time that he approximately spent in Groundhog Day.
Well, they say 30 to 40 years, but like it's kind of up.
So that's the question for you and for our
You
viewers.
want to do this now?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay.
So if you're stuck in a time loop for even 10 years, what are the things that you're doing? Like you become like Bill Murray became an expert in French, specifically 19th century French poetry, mostly because he was trying to pick up the girl who took that as her major. She said, what a colossal waste of time.
Yeah.
He became really good at the card thing and at Jeopardy. What are you going to be good at? What are you going to excel at?
Okay, so if I have 40 years, essentially in my current form, it's about 40 years, mastering the jump shot, just mastering it. I want to be like those cool old guys that hit like 300 free throws in a row. I want to do that stuff.
Okay.
So free throws, couple languages for sure I'd like to get under the belt. Depending on travel, I try to become a sports...
you got to stay within that bubble.
Sports historian. So I would just like, you know what? This month, I'm just going to read about the 1960s Tigers. And just focus that for the month. Just dial in.
Bill Freehand.
Yeah, Willie. Willie Horde, my guy.
Yep.
Free Willie. So there's all sorts of stuff. Like, it'd be a lot of sports stuff, a lot of free throw stuff. And then, like, just the whole doing good thing. Like, this is super lame, but, like, the super... Saving
the kid and...
That's what I love.
That kind of cool stuff.
Superman stuff. Where you just, like, help people, befriend random people.
Listen, Superman's coming... Superman's back.
Yeah, he is.
About time DC
so just
came back.
Just like be good to people because you have infinite time. So it's like, yeah, help out everybody.
If you've got 40 years to get better at stuff, helping people is one. I said probably a champion chess player.
That's a great call by you.
Yeah,
great call.
I don't think I ever told this on the show. My dad was a real good chess player. He's passed away now. R.I.P. Gad.
R.I.P.
He worked as a psychologist in prisons for a good stretch, And a prisoner once asked him, what would you do if you were to do a bunch of time? He said, easy. I'd become a world champion chess player.
That's aura.
So I stole that answer from my dad, and it's a good one.
So yeah, chess, gym we would still do. You would become a better tennis player. Like you would
I learned how to serve properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe even hit a two-handed backhand with some topspin.
All right, great
My
call.
forehand's already mint.
Okay, mint. NBA playoffs. Can you lead
So
into this?
I think we need to talk about the latest and greatest, Red, because you turned to the truth for the latest and greatest hot topics. That Knicks-Pacers game last night was epic.
So you can talk about, because I got you to stay up for it.
Well, Youngblood and I each had our activities. Mine was getting really dirty playing volleyball. He was playing prison basketball. I got home a few minutes before him, took a shower, and I'm watching it. I'm like, the Knicks are hitting everything. OG's hitting shots. Towns is hitting shots. So they're up 16 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, do I go? I was going to go to bed.
And then, do you remember what I came down with? I came down with 2 items. 3, actually. A big tub of water, a protein shake, and an ice cream sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
You said, I need one of those. And when he said he's getting an ice cream sandwich, I'm like, okay, he's staying up for the game. We're back. He's like, I'm hungry. I need ice cream.
So I had some water, and I had an ice cream sandwich.
Okay.
And then we watched, and let me just give the stats. Isaac has this specific. Down by 14 points.
Here, buddy. They can't hear
Down
you.
by 14 points with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play. That has happened 970 times in history. Playoff history, right?
Not sure. Probably.
Either way. 970 times. Up to last night, there were 0 and 970. The Knicks just caught fire.
No, the Pacers
The Pacers caught fire. The Knicks blew the game and should have blown it earlier, right? There was a couple other stupid plays. Hart almost missed enough shot. Jalen Brunson did that dumb bounce the ball off the floor. Anyway, Pacers came back. Historic. Haliburton is absolutely enemy number 1 in New York, but I'm not a Haliburton fan, but I kind of like it. I kind of liked that last night. That was good. Mm-hmm. So we don't care who wins this game. We just want to see a good series.
Yeah.
You want to see it go 6.
I bet on it to go 6 or 7. Show Coach Rob. But no, here's the thing. I was ready to just talk about the series as a whole and talk about the 90s rivalry. And then we lucked into the greatest comeback in sports history.
Historic game. It's going to go down 10 years from now. People are going to be debating, 5 greatest comebacks than ever. Oh, remember that time when the Pacers went crazy in the Garden?
Yeah.
That was it.
So we're not even going to talk about the 90s rivalry because people know about that.
Spike Lee, Reggie Miller, Pat Ewing, all that. Look it up if you don't know about it.
Generally speaking, the current Knicks and the current Pacers, opposite teams. It doesn't take a rock. If you just watch, you can just tell, right? The Knicks, super top heavy, pretty methodical, kind of want a half court rock fight. Pacers
grind.
Want a full court, stretch the court, fast, up
Pacers are racehorses.
They run.
That's how they want to do it, and they're pretty deep.
They run 11, 12 deep. I was going to say before you cut me off. Transition heavy. Knicks really not so much. So a couple numbers here. Pacers scored 24 points in 3 minutes and 14 seconds of regulation. So if you just think about the numbers there, 24 in both.
Wow.
This was to force OT. They're down 9 in the final minute. Teams don't come back from that. The game's over.
Never.
Never, actually. Brunson, you talked about Brunson. I just wrote down he looked possessed, and then not in a good way. Something was off with him.
Isaac made the call when somebody was going to free throw line for key free throws. That might have been OG.
OG went to the line, and you can tell.
And you said he doesn't look good.
I said he's missing some. Because this takes me back to, I don't know if you remember might have been the 2016 Finals Game 1, maybe 2017 Finals Game 1. Super deep cut. George Hill of the Cleveland Cavaliers stepped to the line, and he had this look in his eyes, and you're like, whoa, that's not a confident guy. And OG had a similar look. So I was like, oh, Ananobi's not built for it.
Deeper cut.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen walks by Karl Malone.
Yeah. Mailman.
Yeah. Mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays.
We all know that, buddy.
Not everybody knows
Casual.
that.
Nesmith.
Wiz did not know that. He's appreciative of
Aaron
it now.
Nesmith. I wrote down
historic.
Hot as a pistol. Played great. I like Nesmith a lot. I'm on Nesmith Island, me and Colin. So a couple, and then just a good probability, grade 6 probability thing.
If you don't know what hot as a pistol is, you need to send us a message.
So now I have to focus. Indy, this is good. These are 3 numbers that will make a 4th big number. Okay. Indy, 99.7% chance of losing game 1 versus the Knicks.
99.7. Is that almost as low a chance of the Tigers making the playoffs last year?
Just
About.
Let the record reflect. I saw one place that had the win probability at 0% because it had never been done before. The system broke and called it 0. Like, it's not possible because there's no historical precedent.
It just rotated down from point.
Yeah, because it's never happened. So
zero.
There's not precedent or something.
Precedent is the correct word.
So they were 99.7% chance of losing versus game 1 versus the Knicks, 95.9 game 2 versus the Cavs, 97.9 game 5 versus Milwaukee. This was all this playoffs, right? Wow. Respectively. They won each game, won in almost X number that this happened. Do you understand the question? No. I didn't word it well.
No.
These 3 super improbable comebacks, they all happened. What are the odds that they would all happen? That's well worded.
What are the odds for them all happen in totality?
Yeah.
It's going to be 1 in 7 million.
Almost. I had 1 in like 400 million or 1,000 or something like that. A lot of zeros and a 4 at the beginning. The Pacers did great. So we talked about that. We talked to comeback. We talked about Nesmith. I don't like. It was so much fun. The choke thing was great.
It was fun. You might need to get Braden to help you with your math.
I'm not a math guy, admittedly. Hand up.
You can do it.
I can dial in when I need to, but so it's fine. Like,
phone a friend.
Like Good Will Hunting. Sometimes when I'm walking by the chalkboard, I see like a problem on the board, and I just solve it. I just figure it out and solve it. And my best friend's Ben Affleck as well. That's actually 2 deep cut references. You get one of them, you don't get the second. What's the first one?
Good Will Hunting.
The second one is Step Brothers. When he has to go to therapy and he's asked to share about his life, he just says the plot of Good Will Hunting.
That's right.
Therapist's like, is that just the plot of Good Will Hunting? He's like, no. My best friend's Ben Affleck, and then it cuts.
That's good.
Okay, what else do you have? Do you have more on the Knicks Pacers?
Nope. Looking forward to a good series. I think we just need to spend a couple minutes talking about what's going to happen to Boston now. Like we talked a little bit about it last week, but it's super relevant. And, you know, I remember Bill Simmons and some of those guys talking about it. This is going to hurt some of the stars in a couple years. So now Boston did all the right things. They put a great team together. They got 2 spectacular wings. And then they filled it with a couple of good young guys. Porzingis, I don't know what his deal is.
He can't breathe, actually.
Can't breathe. Don't say it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he couldn't.
But now they got to trade one of their guys. Right?
Yeah.
Like who they
Drew
trade?
Holiday. Drew Holiday coming to Detroit. Happening.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you just saying that to get me excited?
I would love Drew Holiday.
That'd be awesome.
I give you a couple second-round picks for him because his value is quite low right now. So it's the best
I like that. Then you throw out a defensive line with Cade, Drew Holiday, Thompson, Holland.
No.
And because Stu.
Because Asar is going the other way in the Giannis deal. So Thompson can't be on the floor then.
So
sorry about that.
Is it Giannis? It's going to be Markinson or Markkinen.
No. We're getting Giannis. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I
what are the stats? Have you looked this up already?
No one's talking about the Pistons as a Giannis team.
Which should be.
They've
got a lot of good young pieces.
They have the
They
assets.
control all their first round draft picks.
Not this year. Thanks, Troy.
Who cares? This year,
You're right.
I don't care.
Celtics, real quick.
They got Duran for that.
Celtics are like minus 1,000 favorites, minus 1,100 favorites, like crazy favorites. They were down 3-1. They're gonna go down 3-1 before Tatum, so I don't want to hear the Tatum thing.
No, they're losing that series even if Tatum stays healthy.
It's unbelievable. The Celtics it kind of shows how last year was just fake. Sorry, fake. And then Wiz Knicks propaganda. The Knicks get a lot of attention. They have a lot of cool people at their games. Brunson hits cool shots and does celebrations. OG and Bridges are pretty tough to root against.
Yeah, all solid guys.
So sometimes the
Towns
Knicks
is kind of easy to root against.
Yeah. Sometimes
Hart's. You
Hart's
love
a
him if
criminal.
he's on your team.
No, Hart's a punk.
Listen, I like Hart on my team.
No, I don't. Yeah, brackets. I would love him on the Pistons. So some of this Knicks propaganda that Wiz is influencing me is working.
What's that propaganda?
Wiz Knicks propaganda.
Okay.
Because my friend...
Like conspiracy stuff?
No, that's the propaganda. The propaganda is like all this positive Knicks rhetoric, which sometimes makes me think like, oh, wait, do I want the Knicks to win? No, I can't. I don't want to see the Knicks.
They were still the 3
No, off your phone. Holy...
We got to check the Tiger score. Fans want to know.
Oh, man. Okay, zeros. It just started.
No score yet. It's bottom of the second already.
So, anything else on the game? The Knicks Pacers game?
Nope.
Okay. Now, can you pass me your phone for a minute? Just so I can throw it across the room.
Sure, no problem. Here you go.
Do you want to talk about...
Yeah, we got to talk about Thunder and the Timberwolves.
All right, that's fine.
That's a great series.
So you watched none of game 1, right?
No, I watched a couple minutes. Basically, Minnesota just missed a whole bunch of threes. That's kind of what I saw.
That's really advanced. Yeah, you're right.
It is. you've been kind of on the Wolves bandwagon. I haven't. They've made it farther than I
I'm
thought
on
they
the Wolves
would.
bandwagon?
Yeah.
Buddy,
Well,
you're looking at someone that has 2 Shai Gilgeous-Alexander bets.
No, sorry, not the Wolves to beat OKC, but just Wolves earlier in the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought they were going to beat Denver. Yeah.
And it's great. Love them. But I just don't think they have enough depth around them, especially offensively. Randall, he's going to score 30 points one game, then he's going to score 3 the next game.
Well, they wasted the Julius Randle half because he had a crazy first half, right? I really watched that.
Yep.
The T-Wolves, I have some notes on game 1. Basically, it kind of all came down to turnovers. I had notes before the game and I had notes after the game, and they merged well because I'm just like, Thunder perimeter defenders just force turnovers, force steals.
The Thunder's best offense in the first half was off turnovers.
Yep, and then
Other than that, they were crap.
Yeah, and as I was saying, so the Thunder, they get a lot of steals, and the Timberwolves guards actually commit a lot of turnovers, which does not blend really well.
Well, like Conley's old age pension, I like him, but he's 70.
Yeah, Omers. Thunder were plus 21 in the points off turnovers margin. So I think it was like 34 to whatever the difference is between
That's
13.
a big number.
13 steals,
you can do
19
math.
Turnovers. Huge stuff for the Thunder guards. They're so much fun. I really enjoy watching them. Edwards, do you know how many shots he attempted? Did you see
13.
this? 13. 1 at the rim. Everything else was either 3 or...
And he tried to dunk over the entire state of Oklahoma. Didn't work.
So he's got to figure some stuff. When he's like, I'm going to watch some tape and I'm going to figure it out for game 2. And I'm looking
Pissed
forward...
off. He got fined for swearing at the press conference. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah, I'm pro getting fined at the presser. The T-Wolves, do you know how many threes they attempted? Season high.
48.
51. Good guess.
Whew.
Yeah, good guess.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have asked me unless it was either a really big number or a really small number.
Well, then I said season high as a hint. Because if you could tell, the Wolves were just settling for bad shots, and that's a testament to the Thunder's great defense. So, Thunder all the way. I think it'll be a good series.
I think the Wolves are going to...
I wrote Thunder in 6.
Make some shots. Like Ant, Randall are going to make some threes. So they're going to pull a game. No, I've got Thunder in 5.
After seeing game 1, I would revert to what you just changed yours to. Because you probably had Wolves in 4 before game 1, huh?
No, plus OKC has 2 Canucks on there.
Yes, you're right.
The torture chamber and the MVP of the league.
Yeah, okay. Good one. Actually,
Jokic is actually the MVP of the league.
No, Shai is.
I know, Shai won the award.
Okay, is that all on the basketball playoffs?
I have nothing else on basketball playoffs.
All right, conspiracy theories. Start with the draft lottery and tread carefully.
So,
Lightly.
You're the one who told me about, because the Pistons were not in the draft lottery, I really didn't pay that much attention to it. So then Isaac says to me, guess who won the lottery? He says, was it Braden or was it...
I think Braden was over.
Yeah, you had asked Braden and I, and we're kind of guessing. We're like, I don't know who's terrible to win. Charlotte, because they're poop.
Because I was upset.
Because they're poop. Which makes sense, right? Because you want Flagg to go to a good team. Took me a couple guesses, been like, Dallas. So the conspiracy is the league said, we need another superstar in LA. So they orchestrated the Luka trade to the Lakers and said to the Mavericks, what's that guy's name? Nico Harrison. By the way, as a thank you for doing this, we're going to give you the number 1 pick, which is Cooper, not Connor Flagg.
He emailed me today while we were next to each other, by the way. He emailed me today the summary for the episode tonight and says Connor Flagg. And I used some choice words to respond, which I won't use them here.
Not appropriate for here.
It's also the subject of the email thread. That's on me.
You should go pick up some food. Go pick up some takeout.
And he says Connor Flagg. I'm like, Connor Flagg? That's a pretty easy one.
That's his
to get
cousin.
right.
His cousin, like, he played double A.
So,
okay.
So do you want to talk about the draft lottery? I have some numbers here, but they're really like in-depth stuff.
Go ahead. Talk about the draft lottery.
So the Mavs went from 11 to 10 because it was coin flip to 11 to 10, and then they went from 10 to 1. Just some stats on the draft.
1.7% chance or something stupid like that?
1.7 after the initial coin flip. So 1.7, whatever, factored in another 50% bit before that.
Okay.
Here are just facts about the draft lottery. Thanks, Adam the Ghost Silver. Here is the draft lottery that he's cooked up. The rules. Teams with the worst record have not picked first since 2019. So that's like 5 or 6 years in a row.
Okay.
That's when the new rules were put in effect.
Oh, I didn't. I'd forgotten about that rule. That's to avoid Cleveland.
Well, this is not. No. This is the outcome. Sorry, like this is
okay.
This is the result, right? Like when the Pistons had the worst record, they didn't get, obviously, right? Teams with the worst record have now fallen to 5 in 3 straight years.
That's crazy.
Which just shows that there's a glitch in the configuring there. Not the Matrix, man. play-in tournament teams have won consecutive lotteries. The Hawks were a play-in team in 24. The Mavs were a play-in team in 25. They both got first overall. It's pretty easy. If you're in the play-in, which means you're like a borderline playoff team, you shouldn't be in the lottery for first overall.
100%.
That's not a super hard thing to figure out.
Especially because the Pistons are not going to be in the play-in for a long time.
This year, the 3 worst teams fell to 4, 5, and 6, respectively. That's just going to keep right. Why is Washington?
Here's the big thing: Charlotte and Washington fans. Oh my gosh, we're not going to say other bad things, but oh my gosh.
Okay, now we can go to the conspiracy theories.
Okay, so some of the
we have to start with this one, which you kind of laid out.
This now gets on the list. Yeah.
You kind of laid it out, but really poorly.
The Dallas-LA NBA 2025. The NBA says we need another superstar in Tinseltown. So we're going to move Luka from Dallas to the Lakers. And Dallas, as a thank you, you're going to get picked magically to have the number 1 pick in the draft. Cooper Connor Flagg is your thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then you say, and you know what? You get your boyfriend Anthony Davis because Nico loves
and you get Anthony Davis too. Yep.
And then you get there's some holes in the theory. One of which is, and I like this theory. I really do because I texted it as soon as it happened. I put it. I'm like, hey, the hole is the NBA is relying on the fact for the Mavericks to lose that play-in game. Fall, right? Kyrie injury, fall, lose the play-in game, then be in the running for first overall.
Yeah, I didn't know Slender Man could also blow out
Kyrie's
ACL or whatever it is.
But the biggest thing why this actually has some weight is it explains why there's no bidding war and why nobody knew and it was so blindsided. It was because between Adam Silver on the phone and Mavericks on the phone and Lakers on the phone and no one else, and that's why.
Little side deal.
And I guess the Utah they were like the facilitator. They helped at the end, right?
Yeah.
So that explains the biggest plot hole in that trade, which is why didn't anyone know? Why wasn't there a bidding market? It's because it's fixed. Do I actually believe it? Probably not, but it's fun to discuss. Obviously, the league didn't want Cooper in Washington or Charlotte or Utah.
No, nobody wants him there.
San Antonio would have been nice, but then it's kind of too on the nose with the whole Robinson Duncan bit. And it's like, San Antonio is a smaller market, and Popovich is not coaching anymore. I don't know if the league would want to hoist up the Spurs. Philly's too volatile. They want to stay away from there. So it kind of leads to okay, Dallas, Cooper Flagg, boom, there you go. Great. Now you can talk about some others.
So I first started to get excited about conspiracy theories, basketball, because of the Pat Ewing frozen envelope theory, 1985. For those people that don't know, Pat Ewing, superstar at Georgetown, played 2 years and was the number 1 pick. This is the first year they had the big ball they had to whisk around, and then they had all the envelopes. And David Stern, maybe?
It might have been young David.
Pulled out the envelope. The rumor was that envelope was frozen, so it was cold. Pulled that one out. Magically, Ewing goes to the Knicks. And that theory has had so much steam for a long, long time.
That's probably the biggest sports conspiracy theory. If you look on all the lists.
Probably.
And what people... I remember hearing about this when I was so young. This was the first one I remember hearing about. Do you have any others that you want to touch upon? I have one that I can go in depth on. The Jordan
going to play baseball for 2 years because of gambling debts.
I stayed away from that.
That got lots of steam for a few years. I think it's stupid because he's Michael Jordan. He could do whatever he wanted to. Mm-hmm. But lots of people love to talk about that theory.
I stayed away from that one, and I stayed away the one that his dad got hit because gambling debts in the mafia.
That's terrible.
There's a lot of people that really push that out.
Too.
I think that's just kind of we make a lot of jokes and stuff. That's actually just bad taste. Look at us standing up.
Rude.
We're ethical.
We certainly are.
Now
you wouldn't do that.
No, actually. Okay, so this is one that has really very little weight, but it's awesome, and there's a lot of stuff on it. Okay, Markieff Morris.
Oh, this is a great one.
Holy ear rape. Say sorry.
Sorry, everybody. But it's a good one.
Okay, so I'll lay it out, because I remember this when it happened, and I did some reading this week. I'm like, this is great. Okay, Markieff Morris sprained his ankle in the last game of the year really badly. Had to be helped off the court.
It was 2018 or something? Or?
It was around there. I don't have a year. Maybe 17, something like that.
Okay.
Had to be helped off the court. Couldn't walk on it. 3 days later, they're in the playoffs. Markieff somehow has an awesome game one, plays so good. This was for the Wizards, I think. Marcus Morris, who was actually a Detroit Piston at the time,
yep,
who was not in the playoffs, was the theory is that he
laced up and played for his brother.
For his injured brother.
It's a great theory.
And lit up the playoffs. Because he was actually at the game courtside. So people are saying, like, oh, Markieff was sitting courtside and Marcus suited up for him.
Awesome.
Now, why does this have some weight? Because it's like, oh, that's just a stupid... No. They're identical twins, identical hair, identical tattoo, the whole bit. The best part is, and I didn't know this until I read this. High school, they did the same thing. They swapped jerseys one game. And, like, in the record books of the high school, Markieff was Marcus and the other way around. And no one knew. Nice. And they just did this for fun to mess with people.
So when did that become public?
I think there was some buzz about it at the time. And then over the years.
It became public next week.
Because I ended up reading articles.
Wasn't that big a deal because they were in high school?
The high school bit? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, when this happened in the NBA, there's some articles dated then that was like, hey, this just happened.
I didn't hear about it until recently.
It's a fun one. Okay, now you go.
So the Muhammad Ali knocked out Sonny Liston with a phantom punch.
Yeah.
This is from a long time ago. If you're a boxing fan or you're old, you remember it, right? And it's that classic picture of Muhammad Ali yelling in the middle of the ring, and he punched Sonny Liston with a jab so fast that you couldn't see it. And then the theory was Sonny Liston had a lot of gambling debts, and he had to take a dive.
Do you know where Sonny Liston learned to box?
I'm going to say Kronk.
No, prison.
Really?
Yeah, actually. So a lot of people were like, he was kind of built in this environment where, like, it was probably okay to take the fall and dive. So that theory is fun.
That's interesting.
Okay. I have one here that's maybe unethical. We don't have to talk about it, but I actually read this from multiple places. Yao Ming was created by the government.
Oh yeah, and they're trying to make another one.
The same government is?
Yeah, same government.
Well, there's a guy in the draft that has some similarities.
Well, that's where I read about it.
Great theory, a
Yao
lot of
Ming,
fun.
7'5" guy from China. He was the first overall pick. He was awesome. But his feet and his knees couldn't handle keeping that bulk of the body.
The engineering wasn't ready
Frankenstein
yet.
Stuff didn't work.
The coding wasn't there. This year it's there. So that one, the fact that I read it on like 4 or 5 different places, I'm like, I have to bring it up.
It's a funny one.
The one that I like a lot is the Manute Bol one, which I'm sure you know.
I do not know that one, I don't think.
It's basically that he played in the NBA well into his 40s.
Oh, yeah, that one I know. That he lied about his age.
Lied about his age, and like we all kind of knew he lied about his age. Like that's kind of a fact. It's just a matter of how much. People are on record saying they think he was in his 40s and 50s in the NBA.
Well, Satchel Paige played in the Negro League and then played in the majors well into his 40s and lied about his age.
So that one I think is cool.
That's a good one.
That's really cool.
Okay.
And then a couple that aren't as fun. The 2006 NBA Finals. A lot of people think this was rigged for the Heat. This was against the Mavericks. This is like Wade's rise to stardom.
Exactly.
And like they wanted to get Shaq a ring there. And the free throw numbers, I don't know if I stumbled upon this.
I've not seen it. I remember hearing about it a long time ago.
I actually was reading a thing about Shai today, kind of defending Shai in the foul baiting. And then it was like, here's some of the other superstars that get free throws.
And Wade, I think, was only in his second year in the league.
Yeah, we talked about this time last year because what Ant was doing was very reminiscent of what Wade was doing in Miami in just terms of the kind of the sudden rise as a two-way guy. Wade averaged like 16.2 free throws per game in the finals. In the 6 games versus Dallas. If you watch tape, he was going downhill. He's getting hit a lot, but still, like that's a very high number.
Yep.
What else do you have?
I've got the Cal Ripken, the Iron Man streak in baseball. Supposedly he had like a bad back, and he was going to take the day off, but somebody magically made the lights go out at the stadium, so they had to postpone the game. That gave Cal 24 hours to get healthy, so he could suit up to keep the streak going.
So I read a different.
He had already beaten Lou Gehrig at that point. But still, it was to keep the streak going.
I read that he got in a fight with Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Is that one not funny? Is that not real?
No, I mean, I guess it's a...
Because I read that quite a lot.
Yeah.
I have 2 more. I'll go with the D-Rose to Chicago in the 08 draft. That's one where if you like to say the lotteries were rigged, very easy to say Derrick Rose rigged.
LeBron to Cleveland.
Yeah, I think there's even more people saying the Rose one was rigged for whatever reason.
I don't know why.
But yeah, Rose, whatever.
I didn't hear about it at the time, for what it's worth. I heard about it.
I was 4, turning 5, so I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I have one more. Do you have any more?
I've got the Kurt Schilling bloody sock was actually a fake.
That's stupid.
It's funny.
Okay, funny. 2002 Western Conference Finals. Lakers, Kings. Super controversial.
Yeah.
Because you've got some refs that are already on the record for like cheating and betting on games.
Not Donahue.
Tim Donahue, whatever.
Yeah.
Lakers beat the Kings. Fourth quarter of the final game. How many free throws do you think the Lakers attempted?
23.
Great guess. 27.
Whoa.
Which is shocking. I think like 16 in the last 18
Sure, they
points.
had Kobe and Shaq going to the hole a lot, but still, that's a lot.
And then, but if you rewatch that, a lot of them are really phantom. And like Sacramento fans have talked about this for the last like 23 years. They haven't dropped it, which I respect. That's all I got for the conspiracy theories. My favorite one is the Yao Ming one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about JFK, the moon landing, or the Wuhan.
We can talk moon landing is an interesting one, actually. But
it is an interesting one.
Because there's some stuff with Stanley Kubrick, who's a little out there. The JFK one's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. Because all the stuff came out, right?
Yeah.
But so that's actually on the record. So we're not even getting ourselves. We're not even getting in trouble. Look that one up, folks. Watch the movie. Lays it out there.
I don't think all the information that came out really helped that.
No, it was so much. I think some certain things got help.
A lot of it was redacted, right?
Yeah, redacted. Like I have to do with your notes when you write down brain rot.
So what happens is Isaac gets access to my Google Doc. I should just start a new one and not give him access to it. So he's got like stuff crossed out, or he just writes me inappropriate, insensitive comments.
Yeah, so like today I hopped on his doc and I just wrote like a couple mean things down. You can't come close to saying them.
Something about
some of them about me. And then you don't even say that.
No, something about my competition at work.
Yeah, we talk about work stuff and alt life and that.
Oh, we're comparing numbers to work.
Now we can wrap up here. I'll let you talk about the Tigers.
So Tigers are the hottest team in baseball. The funny thing is, like, if the Tigers win a game, even if they have a good inning for about the last 30 years, I'd say to Daniela, or just about anybody who's close, man, Tigers are the hottest team in baseball. So finally, a few days ago, Daniela looked at the standings and said, the Tigers are the hottest team in baseball. Yes, the best team in baseball in the rankings, record. I'm not sure if they still have a run differential, but I don't care. They got lots of wins. So I did a little bit of math. They can play 500 ball the rest of the year, and they're still going to win like 91 games.
Yeah, it's really fun awesome to think about. That's super cool. That's a great number. I didn't even think about that.
That's a good stat.
500. Well, I remember thinking about that like a week into the season, where it's like, okay, if they play 500 ball, what do they need for the offs?
Yeah, but now we're 87. Now you can start to do that math.
Yeah, you really can.
And just with the Tigers starting pitch, listen, we're going to get to the Javy Baez game in a second. With the Tigers starting pitching depth, I just don't see them going on long losing streaks. Listen, at some point in the year, they're going to lose 3 of 7, that kind of stuff. Yes, but they've got Skubal, and every now and then Skubal is going to give up 4 runs, and Tigers are going to score 2. It's going to happen, but it's not going to happen much. And it's not going to happen consistently. Then you got Job, who's good, 8-0 in his first 8. Sorry, the team is 8-0. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. Well, Isaac, why don't you talk for a minute?
Man, that means it's time to finish, bro. I got to eat dinner. Haven't eaten dinner yet. I go right from the work to the gym. I get here. I shove some ham into my mouth.
A little ham.
And some potato.
Yeah.
And then I get down here. So, Tigs. Where do you want to talk about? Job, they win every time he pitches, is what he was trying to say. Yeah, they win.
Okay. Mize was injured. Now he's back.
He's back.
Solid. Flaherty, he had a little bit of a rough game, but he's back. And now Reese gets a little bit of a break. I'm good with this.
Yeah.
Take a couple weeks off in May.
Okay, so Tigers.
Rest your arm.
Okay, hobby game. So I go to all the Tiger games.
Nuts.
I love going to Tiger games. Sometimes I get him to go when he's not being a geriatric. We're at the hobby game. You can talk about witnessing.
Hero.
Yeah, you can talk about witnessing the hobby game.
Okay,
next to me.
We saw the hobby game, and it was Bark at the Park. So we had a whole bunch of people up in the Bark in the Park seats, which is like 212 or something. Isaac and I had slightly better seats. We've spoken about this in past
Wrap it up, buddy.
So Baez hits a 3-run bomb to put them ahead in the 6th inning. Oh my gosh. Back and forth. Was it Sweeney who hit the 2-out run?
Down to the last out.
To move the game to the 11th inning. Then they give up 2 runs in the top. He's losing his mind.
But then what? Only very briefly. I lose my mind very briefly. And then do you remember what I very quickly turned to?
No.
I've done, real quick, this is all I have to say and then we can be good. I've done this kind of mental game. I've rewired my brain cells where I've told myself that the Tigers are a World Series team. And my line is, this is a team that's going to win this game. World Series teams wins games.
Yes,
like
you have said that a lot.
And I just hammer this line. So it's like, they're down 11-0.
Which is associated with them being very gritty, not giving up.
It's
which
just
is the whole
it's
message.
historical precedence, because I like to look at that stuff and it's like, oh, World Series teams come back and win games like this at home in this month. That
Yes,
kind of thing.
you did say that.
I said that multiple times.
Dude, the fans around us, they were buying in.
Yeah, and I'm like,
We had
guys,
to make a whole section put on rally hats like 3 times.
yeah, casuals. I'm like, guys, this is what a World Series team looks like, and World Series teams win this type of game. We're gonna win this game. And after I got over that hurdle, because it was like, oh, it's so over, and then I got so back before Javy saved us. And that's my thing. I did this with the Lions too, and it completely failed me. But we're not going to talk, because I would just say Super Bowl team, and then Washington happened, right? But the Tigers are actually like World Series team. They're going to win. So it's like, oh, 0-0 third inning. Yeah, World Series team's probably going to win this game.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm going to keep hammering this all year. It works. That's what I got.
Baez, who was statistically the worst player in baseball last year, is awesome now. He hits another 3-run bomb, walk it off. We are losing our mind. Completely bonkers. One of the best baseball games I've ever seen in person in my life. I've been to a lot of games. It was great.
For a measly regular season baseball game in May, it was one of the coolest
I'm sure we paid
sports
top
moments.
dollar because we had good seats.
It was one of the coolest sports moments I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's
I've
awesome.
never seen anything like that. It was unbelievable. And there's a couple pictures and videos of the chaos after the fact.
Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, I
What-
kind of lost my mind a little bit.
Yeah, we can talk about the hobby game. It's great stuff. I love the Tigers. I love going. I'm going there Sunday morning, 11:35 first pitch. It's great. I'll be there.
Why is 11:35 first pitch? Memorial Day?
No, I think it's like a rights thing where it's like one of the TV guys has it at a certain time. They play a bunch of games throughout the day, and the first game is 11:35. I don't get it, but it's like I love it.
Wait a second. Is it Scooby?
Scoob's on the pop. You want to come? See, geriatric. Oh, I got me and Wiz are going. It's happening.
Maybe.
Yeah. So let's see.
We got to play some tennis to get in. We got to get some reps in.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to hit, man.
Okay. All right.
Actually, I'm not. I'm hurting.
Fans, thanks for the support. Challenge for you folks. Urban Paul, I'm wearing your pin. You need to give us a couple of things that you'd like to hear about before football season gets rolling.
Yeah, in 4 months. You've got time, guys.
No, you don't got time. It's going to start happening soon.
All right, wrap it up.
See you, fans. Thanks.